YouTube videos, sacred texts, online courses, you've consumed it all. You're spiritually constipated, stuffed with wisdom you can't digest. Your manifestations fail. Your prayers bounce back. Your life doesn't budge. Sound familiar? I lived this nightmare until I discovered something. The tools were already inside me. Not in another book, not in another video, inside. 5 God-given tools that transform theory into reality. Let me show you exactly how to use them. Let's get right into the list. The first thing we need to start with is presence. Presence is the prerequisite for all of these spiritual tools and for all purposeful action in the world. Now, presence is a bit of a paradox because technically we're always present. But presence means keeping our attention on the present moment. Most people do not do this. Most people are either preoccupied by memories of the past, anxious of visions of the future, or consumed by analytical thought patterns. Today, the technology of smartphones and the internet presents an incredible challenge to staying present. The result is that most people are distracted away from their perception of reality, from their senses, and from what their intuition is telling them about the present moment. Being present is so rare these days that if you maintain eye contact for more than 5 seconds, people assume you're either in love with them or planning to steal their wallet. But here's the truth. A full appreciation of the present moment is ultimately a full appreciation of God and His creation, the universe. Thus, practice is needed. But how do we be present? Ultimately, a perfected method of being present is, as Lao Tzu says, beyond words and beyond mind. It is impossible to describe with words exactly what presence is. All I can do is point you towards the goal to help you experience it yourself. Being present is practicing control over the direction of your attention. The first way to do this is with your senses. Really see what your eyes are seeing. Really hear what your ears are hearing. Really feel what your skin is feeling. Be aware of where your awareness is. The most famous tool for this is the breath. Just notice your own breathing. Try this now. Take 3 completely conscious breaths. Focus on the feeling of the air entering and then leaving your body. There, don't you feel better already? Since practice is needed, we should make time to practice being present. This practice is meditation. When you truly understand meditation, you will find that being present in silence and stillness is the most ecstatic experience you can have. Once you begin practicing meditation, you will begin to understand the essence of being present. There are so many times when I am talking with my wife or playing with my kids that I realize I am not being present. Maybe I am tempted away from hearing about how Rosie the doll wants her hair combed by the incredibly entertaining and informative resources of YouTube. But then I remember, this moment will not come again, and to think I am not accepting my daughter's desire to connect with me breaks my heart. So I bring myself back to the present moment and focus on her. The most important time to be present is when you're interacting with someone else. Can you be a truly good listener? Can you set aside your ego and be present with the person who needs your help? Being present is the essence of practicing the way of service. Everyone can tell the difference between someone who's being present with them and someone who is distracted. So be present. not just for the sake of others, but for your own sake. When we are present, we receive all of the love, energy, and information that's available to us. This includes perfect guidance about what to do next. Once you are present, you can employ the next of God's tools: intention. While presence is the prerequisite to all of these tools, intention is the most powerful. The power of intention comes from our heart and creates the world that we experience every day. Combining presence and intention creates an irresistible force that pushes us into action. Thus, defining and understanding your own intentions is key to living a properly oriented life. You were meant to live an ecstatic and fulfilling life by harmonizing your intentions with the expansive intentions of God. Most people, however, do not do this, and they end up living out the intentions of others. Unfortunately, in this world of people just doing their job, that means selfish and dark intentions are the default. They just do their job and never consider the real consequences of their actions. They put their best intentions away in the closet for some hopeful future when they think they can act on them. Later. Always later. This is why most people live lives of quiet desperation. When I ask people about their intentions, they often say something vague like, "I want to be happy." That's like telling a taxi driver you want to go someplace nice. You might end up at the beach, or you might end up at a gas station with surprisingly clean bathrooms. If you look at the name of this channel, you might be able to guess the intention that I think is the most important. Service. When we act with an intention of service, we are fully aligned with God's will. As Jesus said, "Truly I tell you, whatever you did for one of the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did for me." Maintaining this intention of service helps us to be present and also avoid the traps of selfishness that sabotage our success. It also energizes us and moves us forward. Before I made this video, when I was thinking of what video to make next, I looked at my long list of ideas. None of them felt right, and I felt confused and uninspired. The moment I thought, this next video needs to be as helpful as possible, this video idea instantly occurred to me. When I remind myself that this content will help hundreds of people apply spiritual wisdom, the words flow effortlessly. Remembering the intention of service clears away all of my hesitations, no matter where they're coming from. This is especially true when I do my live stream every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Central Time. There's a lot of pressure when I'm live, and it's easy to freeze up, especially when the camera's on. But as soon as I remember that I'm here to help serve others and give them all the help that I can provide, I'm reinvigorated. This also happens in my family or personal life. Remembering the intention to be of service eliminates my fatigue, annoyance, or any other negative emotion that might stop me. The difference between service-based intention and selfish intention is like the difference between watering flowers and yelling at them.
Come on, flowers, grow faster. What are you doing? You're too slow.
One works with nature, the other makes you look stupid. Converting thoughts into intentions is the most powerful thing you can do. Once you have set an intention, the next action to take often becomes obvious. The universe also instantly responds to your intentions. You might have heard that our thoughts create reality. While thoughts do create reality, they actually work through intentions. This acts as a safety switch, so that we may have thoughts and not see them manifested in the world immediately. As a biomedical engineer, I was excited to find that these spiritual truths are confirmed in the study of the human electromagnetic fields. This research shows that the heart generates a field 60 times stronger electrically and 5,000 times stronger magnetically than the brain. This coherent heart field can actually be measured several feet outside of your body, affecting those around you. This strength is due to the coherent arrangement of the heart's neuromuscular junctions, which generate a more focused and stronger field than the unaligned neural network of the brain. In other words, it's only when we move a thought into our heart as an intention that we truly send the signal out into the world and the universe. Two opposing intentions cannot coexist in one person's heart. When you look inside your heart, you will know what intentions you have been following. Thus, you will not be confused by the results of your life. If you are getting bad results in your life, it is because you are not aligned with the positive and expansive intentions of God. Important examples of God's intentions are peace, love, creativity, compassion, appreciation, forgiveness, presence, truth, and acceptance. Try this now. Place your hand on your heart, close your eyes, and state one clear intention for today. I plan to help as many people as I possibly can with this video. Remember, the intention of service cannot coexist with the intention of exploitation. Appreciation cannot coexist with complaint. Understanding and compassion cannot coexist with judgment. You must choose, and you will get the results in your life based on your choices. Having competing intentions is like trying to drive with one foot on the gas and one on the brake. You make a lot of noise, burn through resources, and ultimately go nowhere, while looking incompetent. So, if presence centers us and intentions determine our direction, then the third tool, emotions, serve as the navigation system that tells us if we're on the right course. The spiritual teacher Abraham Hicks tells us, emotions are our spiritual guidance system. Intentions come from the heart, and so do emotions. They are intricately tied. Our emotions tell us what intentions are in our heart, and if those intentions are aligned with our higher self. When we are feeling negative emotions, it tells us that we are focused on intentions that do not serve us. Our beliefs determine what intentions are available to us, and these two together cause our emotions. Emotions then tell us where we are heading with our current intentions and beliefs. Most people treat their emotions like they treat their weird uncle at a family reunion. They acknowledge their existence, but try not to engage directly or make eye contact for too long. I have a problem with anger. Sometimes I get angry at the stupidest little thing.
Why won't you go?
Recently, during such an episode, I took a step back, saw myself, and realized this was a pretty silly reason to get angry. However, I still felt the anger. I realized I wanted to be angry. This realization made me really take responsibility for my reaction. Since then, I have significantly reduced the amount of anger I've felt in general, and also in those specific situations. We must recognize and honor these emotions and not try to suppress them. In the spiritual community, many people bypass their negative emotions through spiritual platitudes. Spiritual bypassing is when you slap a namaste on a nervous breakdown. It's the emotional equivalent of putting a live, laugh, love sign over a broken window. Try this now. Identify what emotion you're feeling right now without judging it as good or bad. I am feeling excited anticipation. If your emotion comes close to liking this video, be sure to click the like and subscribe buttons. Being aware of our emotions also helps us to practice being present. Thus, if we take a moment to pause and assess our emotions, we engage these two powerful tools at once. First, instead of identifying with our emotions and being swept away by reacting to life, we can separate ourselves and see our emotions objectively. This takes the edge off from the emotion and allows us to take our power back from the emotional wave. We can then decide how to act next instead of reacting unconsciously. Think of the word reacting. When we are reacting, we are unconsciously repeating patterns of the past. Instead, we want to respond intelligently, not react. Being aware of our emotions is what allows us to do this. Lao Tzu says,
"Respond intelligently, even to unintelligent treatment."
When you are aware of your emotions, you can know where you are on the Hawkins emotional scale. All spiritual teachings help us to ascend this scale. The highest emotions come through understanding the truth of our unity with God, while the lower emotions come from our belief in the lie that we are separate from God and only the physical body. When Hawkins wrote the book on this scale, he explained that courage was the boundary between the lower and the higher realm. Check out this live stream for more information on this important idea. Another spiritual teacher, Bashar, explains that our highest emotions, especially excitement, are the language that our higher self uses to communicate with us. He thus instructs us to follow our highest excitement.
Whatever presents itself to you as an option, out of all the options you have available to you at any given moment, just act on the one that you can act on best, that contains the highest excitement out of all the options. And act on it with absolutely no assumption, insistence, or expectation as to what the outcome ought to be. That's the whole formula. That's all you have to keep doing.
This means that we look at all the different options available to us, and we compare our excitement when we consider each choice. Following our heart is the same as following our highest excitement. Our emotions are like a compass in our life. To convert negative emotions into positive ones, or to refine positive emotions even higher, we should use the rest of the tools we are discussing today. Another thing to remember is that emotion is emotion. Our emotions tell us where our energy and our life force are being directed, and if they're being directed in the right way. Our emotions give us the information about where we are and where we are heading. Lao Tzu?
If you do not change direction, you may end up where you are heading.
To set our intentions right when we're in a negative emotional state, we can use the fourth tool, reframing. Most people know the most basic reframe. I'm not wrong. You're wrong.
You're fucking paranoid, You are fucking.
Unfortunately, they are both wrong. Proper reframing means that we correct ourselves by realizing the ultimate truth about the situation. If we are feeling a negative emotion, it's because we believe something that is not true, or we hold an intention that is not aligned with the truth. Here are some basic spiritual truths that can instantly give us perspective. God loves us totally. We are all perfectly connected in spirit, and we are all eternal and immortal souls. These truths should erase any concern we might have in the moment. But perhaps these truths cannot penetrate the dark cloud that has descended upon you. In such cases, there are infinite other truths that you can use to reframe your situation. Here are some more examples. Help is always available. What seems bad now might actually be for the greater good. If I am patient, the right action will arise by itself. And finally, the path is the destination. So I must focus on the process, not my desired outcomes. The entire creation of the way of service was a reframing of decades of negative thinking. I reached such a level of anger that I suddenly changed my life path in an instant. I had one of those really bad days when everything was going wrong and I was seeing bad news and bad things of the world that finally brought me to a breaking point. That breaking point was actually an epiphany. I had the skills and the philosophy that could change the way that the world would go. The way of service was born, and I reframed all these terrible things into an opportunity. Another word for reframing and restating truths in your mind is affirmation. Paramahansa Yogananda explains that an affirmation is a statement of truth that you wish to realize and manifest in your life. When we forget these truths, we manifest something else in our lives. These truths can help us to reframe any situation that might trouble us and to reorient our intentions so that we are heading where we want to go. Lao Tzu says,
If you do not change direction, you may end up where you are heading.
God and His universe are always nudging us to reframe our lives. He does this through signs and synchronicities. When we notice these signs, we remember that God and the spirits and angels that support us are right there. Can there be a more powerful reframing than this? The very fabric of the universe responding to us. Try this now. Take one challenge you've been facing and ask yourself, what is the gift or opportunity in this? I'm facing the challenge of growing my channel. The gift or opportunity is that the process of growth allows me to refine my craft before I reach a greater audience. So, presence centers us in reality, intention directs our power, emotions guide our course, and now reframing shifts our perspective on all of it. One type of reframing and affirmation is so powerful that it is the fifth tool: acceptance. Another word for this is forgiveness, but I chose acceptance here because it is often far easier than forgiveness. Two of the most incredible avatars to ever grace this planet, Jesus and Lao Tzu, taught forgiveness and acceptance. Lao Tzu taught acceptance, and Jesus taught forgiveness. Accept the world as it is. If you accept the world, the Tao will be luminous inside you, and you will return to your primal self. Be merciful, just as your Father is merciful. Do not judge, and you will not be judged. Do not condemn, and you will not be condemned. Forgive, and you will be forgiven. Acceptance and forgiveness are the very essence of God, the Tao, and the universe. I had a recent powerful experience with acceptance. When I made my last video, 44 spiritual insights I learned from 20 to 40, I did not plan on the production time that it took. After about 2.5 weeks, I realized I was nowhere close to finishing my video. Most YouTube wisdom says you need to release a new video every week, especially as a new channel like me. That common wisdom did not change the fact that the video was only half produced. Every day I was agitated and trying to work extra hours to get it done. It is very negatively affecting my mental and family life. Finally, I realized this video is going to take the amount of time that it was going to take. I completely accepted that this long, high-quality video might take another 2 to 3 weeks to complete. All my anxiety disappeared, and I released a video that has 5 times my previous record for video engagement. We must practice radical acceptance. Whatever has happened in the past is done. Whatever decision we made, even if 1 second ago, has been made. God has a plan for our lives, and nothing we do can destroy that plan. But if we resist in fear, anger, or desire, we can delay the unfolding of that plan and make it much more painful for ourselves and others. Resistance is the opposite of acceptance, and it is the cause of all suffering. If you do not understand acceptance, you will always be working to change your life to be happy. It is the great rat race. Unfortunately, the universe will not respond to this intention by giving us what we want. Instead, God and the universe give us more of what we don't want because we are in a state of resistance. While acceptance allows us to be present, being present also allows us to be accepting. Acceptance is another thing that must be practiced. It is reached through reframing, understanding our emotions, and practicing the intentions of God. Some of those intentions, once again, are forgiveness, compassion, and love. Forgiveness is the total acceptance of a person or a situation. Jesus taught us to forgive our enemies, and Lao Tzu taught us to accept even the most difficult situations. Buddha said to understand everything is to forgive everything. The ultimate truth is that if you knew someone's life, you would forgive them, just as God, who understands and knows our lives, forgives us. Any negative situation can be instantly transmuted through acceptance and forgiveness. Try this now. Complete the sentence, "I accept," with something you've been resisting. I accept that this video may not get even 1,000 views. So these are the 5 tools I want to give you today: presence, intention, emotion, reframing, and acceptance. Each builds on the other and interact with each other. But if you can remember just one of these, they will lead you to the others in your most difficult times. These are, as Lao Tzu says, a treasure hidden within your own breast. These tools are always with you and are always available. Which is good because, unlike my actual tools, they can be found and aren't hiding under 3 bags of dog food in the garage. Where is that ratchet wrench? I challenge you to choose just one of these tools to practice consistently for the next 7 days. Notice what changes in your life when you practice it consistently. And come back and tell us in the comments what happened. If you've enjoyed this video, please give me a like and subscribe. Just clicking the like button might change someone's life because they get to view this video thanks to your influence. I have just scratched the surface of the use of these tools and how they impact your life. Click on this video next to continue your journey.
Okay, Flowers. This is just for acting, okay? This is just for a scene, so I'm not actually yelling at you. But here we go. You ready? Okay. I'm just kidding. You guys are growing just fine. You're doing just fine, okay? Enjoy.
The present moment is the only true present we can present to ourselves. Our mindful presence in the present presently presents us with the gift of truly being present. All right.